Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. 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 Elohim over all, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Our Elohim over all, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Heaven and earth will shake at the sound of your name. Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. Heaven and earth will shake at the sound of your name. Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Heaven and earth will shake at the sound of your name. Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Heaven and earth will shake at the sound of your name. Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Elohim over all, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one. Elohim over all, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad. Da 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 da. Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah is one.
And shalom. Excuse me. Welcome to Cover with Jeremy Pyers. Shalom and welcome everybody in chat, which is Sister Mandy. Welcome. Enjoy the Indian sounding guy you play too. Wait, which one? I have a whole playlist with all these songs on them actually. It, they're on my playlist. I've listened to them so much, but they're they're all pretty awesome songs in my opinion. But yeah, that song we just heard, it's one of my favorites. And Shema Yisrael. Like Hear, O Israel. Who is Israel? We're Israel. That's the thing. What? We are Israel. If you want to be set apart and follow his ways, that's who we are. We're Israel. Hey, Shalom, Skull Asylum. Glad you could make it here. Good to see you. Awesome. All right, so today we're going to be getting into 2 Corinthians. This will be part number 2. The week before I had a family thing, which I actually didn't end up going to, and then last week I ended up getting food poisoning, and it was so bad, and there was just no way I was going to be able to live stream. But here we are today. Praise Yah. So we're going to be continuing 2 Corinthians in the reading of Paul's writings and studying them, going over them line by line, and showing how those who call Paul a false apostle and a false teacher, I could go on, but they're bringing false accusations against someone in Messiah who has actually passed away and cannot defend himself. But he does defend himself in his own letters. But it's just a rejection of Paul's writings. It's a satanic doctrine. That's what it is. If you don't like hearing that, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. My voice is low. Excuse me. Let me hold on one second. Let's see. Let's see if that helps. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I don't know, my mic is always just so low for some reason. I can never get it to go very high, and I don't know why. Hopefully that's better for you. I'll try to speak a little bit louder, just in case. But let's get on to the reading here. Thank you for joining me, everybody in chat at the moment. So 2 Corinthians chapter 5, and we're going to be reading from the scriptures of 1998, or ISR 1998. So, for we know that if the tent of our earthly house is destroyed, we have a building from Elohim, a house not made with hands, everlasting in the heavens. Hey, shalom, Ryan. For indeed, in this we groan, longing to put on our dwelling, which is from heaven, so that having put it on, we shall not be found naked. Amen. So, this is just like we were discussing earlier, we shouldn't be worried about materialistic things or how much money we got, how much money we don't have, whatever. Anything earthly possessions, it's not really that important at all. What is important is our relationship with the Father, with our relationship with Yahweh. Because without that, we're going to be found naked and afraid, standing in front of Him and in front of everybody for judgment. For indeed, we who are in this tent groan, being burdened, not because we wish to put it off, but to put it on the other, so that what is to die might be swallowed up by life. Just a moment, sorry. Now, he who has prepared us for the same purpose is Elohim, who has given us the Spirit as a pledge of what is to come. Therefore, being always of good courage, and knowing that while we are at home in the body, we are absent from the Master. For we walk by belief, not by sight. We are of good courage, and we are well pleased, rather to be absent from the body, and to be present with the Master. So, we also make it our aim to be well pleasing to Him, whether being at home or being away from home. For we all have to appear before the judgment seat of Messiah, in order for each one to receive according to what he has done in the body, whether good or evil. Knowing therefore the fear of Yahweh, we persuade men, but we have been made manifest to Elohim. And I also trust in your consciences to have been manifested. For we do not again commend ourselves to you, but give you an occasion to boast on our behalf, in order that you have an answer for those who take pride in appearance and not in heart. For whether we are beside ourselves, it was for Elohim, or whether we are of sound mind, it is for you. For the love of Messiah compels us, having judged this, that if one died for all, then all died, and he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised. So from now onwards, we know no one according to the flesh. And if we have known Messiah according to the flesh, yet now we no longer know him thus. Therefore, if anyone is in Messiah, he is a renewed creature. The old matters have passed away. See, all matters have become renewed. And all matters are from Elohim, who has restored us to favor with himself through Yahushua Messiah, and has given us the service of restoration to favor. That is, that Elohim was in Messiah, restoring the world to favor unto himself, not reckoning their trespasses to them, and has committed to us the word of restoration to favor. Therefore, if we are envoys on behalf of Messiah, as though Elohim were pleading through us, we beg on behalf of Messiah, be restored to favor with Elohim. For he made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, so that in him we might become the righteousness of Elohim. Amen. So, as you can see, Paul is speaking in favor of the Messiah. He's showing that Messiah is the door and the way to Yahweh. Messiah is the way, and we follow the way. That's the thing. Let me just check the chat here for a moment. Oops, hold on. There we go. All right. My mic is still low. Hold on. Let me see. I don't know why it always like resets down. Is that better? Hopefully. All right. Wendy, welcome, sister. Ryan, welcome, brother. Amanda, welcome, sister. Yeah, I talk kind of quiet, I guess, too. So that probably has something to do with it. Tacos and no guac. Uh-oh. I turned it up more. Hopefully you guys can hear a little better. It looks, I mean, it looks fine on my end from what I'm seeing. Hopefully it sounds better. Excuse me. All right. Hopefully this is better. Okay. Sounds better. All right. So, chapter 6 of Second Corinthians. And working together, we also call upon you not to receive the favor of Elohim in vain. For he says, an inacceptable time I have heard you, and in a day of deliverance I have helped you. See, now is the well accepted time. See, now is a day of deliverance. Giving no cause of stumbling in whatever, so that the service is not blamed. Rather, we commend ourselves as servants of Elohim in every way, in much endurance, in pressures, in hardships, in distress, in stripes, in imprisonments, in disturbances, in toils, in watchings, in fastings, in cleanness, in knowledge, in patience, in kindness, in the set apart spirit, in love unfeigned, in the word of truth, in the power of Elohim, through the weapons of righteousness, on the right and left. Through esteem and disrespect, through evil report and good report, regarded as deceivers, and yet true, as unknown, and yet well known, as dying, and see we live, as disciplined, and yet not killed, as sad, yet always rejoicing, as poor, yet enriching many, as having none, and yet possessing all. Our mouth hath spoken openly to you, O Corinthians. Our heart is wide open. You are not restrained by us, but you are restrained by your own affections. But for the same reward, I speak as to children. Open wide your hearts too. Do not become unevenly yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership have righteousness and lawlessness? And what fellowship has light with darkness? And what agreement has Messiah with Belial? Or what part does a believer have with an unbeliever? And what union has the dwelling place of Elohim with idols? For you are a dwelling place of the living Elohim. As Elohim said, I shall dwell in them, and walk among them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Therefore, come out from among them, and be separate, says Yahweh. Do not touch what is unclean, and I shall receive you. And I shall be a father to you, and you shall be sons and daughters to me, says Yahweh the Almighty. Hallelujah. And you know that this is just really popular. I'm sure all of you know, and even those who don't read much know this, you know. What agreement has Messiah with Belial, or a believer with an unbeliever? And it's basically just don't be unevenly yoked. And this goes for like more than just like husband and wife relationships. It's about like friends, what kind of people you hang around. Some family, you know, if there's family members that are a really bad influence on you, it's probably best not to be hanging around with them. You know, things like that. You guys are all eating. All right, so we'll go on to chapter 7. Having then these promises, beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all defilement of the flesh and spirit, perfecting set apartness in the fear of Elohim. Make room for us. We wronged no one. We corrupted no one. And we exploited no one. I do not say this to condemn, for I previously said that you are in our hearts, to die together and to live together. Great is my boldness of speech towards you. Great is my boasting on your behalf. I have been filled with encouragement, and I overflow with joy in all our pressure. Oh yeah, Wendy, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a husband or wife type of matter, not like. Anyway. For indeed, when we came to Macedonia, our flesh had no rest, but we were hard pressed on every side, conflicts without fears within. Conflicts without, fears within. But Elohim, who encourages the downcast, encouraged us by the coming of Titus, and not only by his coming, but also by the encouragement with which he was encouraged over you, when he reported to us your longing and your mourning, your ardor for me, so that I greatly rejoiced. For even if I made you sad with my letter, I do not regret it, though I did regret it. For I perceive that the same letter made you sad, even if for an hour. Now I rejoice, not that you were made sad, but that you were saddened into repenting. For you were made sad according to Elohim, so that you suffered no loss from us. For sadness according to Elohim works repentance to deliverance, not to be regretted, but the sadness of the world works death. For see how you have been saddened according to Elohim, and how much it worked out in you eagerness. Indeed, clearing of yourselves, indeed displeasure, indeed fear, and indeed longing, indeed ardor, and indeed righting of wrong. In every way you proved yourselves to be clear in the matter. So although I wrote to you, it was not for the sake of him who had done the wrong, nor for the sake of him who had suffered the wrong, but for the sake of revealing our diligence for you before Elohim. For this reason, we have been encouraged in your encouragement, and we rejoice exceedingly more for the joy of Titus, because his spirit has been refreshed by all of you. Because if I because if I had boasted somewhat about you to him, I am not ashamed. But as we spoke to you all in truth, even so our boasting to Titus was found true. And his tender feelings are greater for you, as he remembers the obedience of all of you, as you received him with fear and trembling. I rejoice that in every way I am of good courage by reason of you. That's pretty awesome. See, Paul is upbuilding and encouraging right there. He's he's saying, yeah, people make mistakes, but repent. And he was upbuilding and encouraging them because they were upbuilding and encouraging him. Hopefully they can hear you over the chomping. Yeah. That's why no one could hear me. Everyone's eating. All right. So we'll read what excuse me, one more, and we'll probably stop it there for this evening. So 2 Corinthians chapter 8. Now, brothers, we make known to you the favor of Elohim, which has been given in the assemblies of Macedonia, that in much trial of pressure, the overflowing of their joy and their deep poverty overflowed into the riches of their generosity. Because I bear witness that according to their ability and beyond their ability, they gave voluntarily, begging us with much urgency for the favor of taking part in the service to the set apart ones. Not as we had expected. They gave themselves first to the Master, then to us by the desire of Elohim, that we should urge Titus that he had begun, so he would also complete this kind of gift in you as well. But as you excel in every way, in belief and speech and knowledge, and all diligence, and in your love for us, that you should excel in this kind gift as well. I speak not by command, but I am proving the genuineness of your love by the eagerness of others. For you know the favor of our Master Yahusha Messiah, that being rich, he became poor for your sake, so that you might become rich through his poverty. And in this I give an opinion. It is to your advantage not only to be doing what you began and were desiring to do a year ago, and now also complete the work, that as there was a readiness in desiring it, so there also should be a completion out of what you have. For if the readiness is present, it is well received according to what one has, not according to what he does not have. Not, however, that others should be eased and you hard pressed, but by fair sharing, that now at this time you are plenty for their need, so that their plenty might also be for your need. that there might be fair sharing. As it has been written, he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little had not less. But thanks be to Elohim, who puts the same eagerness for you into the heart of Titus, because he received the appeal indeed, but being more eager, he went to you of his own accord. And we sent him with a brother whose praise is in the good news through all the assemblies. And not only so, but who was also chosen by the assemblies to travel with us, with this gift that is administered to us by the esteem of the Master himself and your ready mind. Avoiding this, that anyone should blame us in this generous gift which is administered by us. For we provide what is right, not only in the sight of Yahuwah, but also in the sight of men. And we sent with them our brother, whom we have often proved eager in many ways, but now much more eager, because of the great reliance which we have in you. As for Titus, he is my partner and fellow worker for you. As for our brothers, they are messengers of the assemblies by the esteem of Messiah. Therefore show to them the proof of your love and of our boasting on your behalf, and in the presence of the assemblies. Awesome. Awesome. Let's see here. Hold on one sec. All right. Why is water so good? It is good. Biblical cosmology. Yeah, it'll be awesome to see all the pictures and videos you got up north there, Sister Wendy. Yeah. When people cry our drinking water is disappearing because of climate change, it makes me laugh. Yeah, that's the biggest sham. And then they try to blame everybody for all the yeah, I won't go there. But yes, it makes me laugh as well. It's just a big joke and a hoax. Then they try to point the blame at all of us, saying, "Well, you guys caused this." Well, wait, who's the one that hid all these technologies of free energy and free electricity and all that? Oh, yeah, it wasn't us. But they'll point the finger at us, and people will believe it. Yeah, cows did it. Yeah. It's so utterly ridiculous. It's a joke, really. It's a joke. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. Yahweh made a perfect place for us that can easily replenish itself. Had cows farting because, they've been around since men. But now they're causing a problem. And they want everyone to believe that Yah isn't real. Exactly. Yeah, it, it's insane. Excuse me. It's all Wendy's hairspray. I remember being a kid and they were trying to say that too. The hairspray was causing a hole in the ozone and all that. Whatever happened to that hole in the ozone? They fixed it? because I don't hear about it no more. And there's always something different and something new going on. They'll never mention anything else about, you know, like this hole in the ozone. I ain't heard about that in decades, but it was supposedly there. I never use hairspray. Aquanet, yeah. But you know, I gotta be real careful with what I say here, because literally they're getting me for reading scripture. So pretty much everything they say that is a huge problem is not really a huge problem, and it's just something. It's called the Hegelian dialect: problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, they get a reaction, then they create the solution. It's they repeat the same process over and over every generation, and yeah, it's yeah, the ozone turned into the Van Allen belts. Yeah, there's not a hole in them anymore. That's how they went to the moon. There was that hole in the ozone. That's where they launched the ship through it, and then it came back through it. And now that the hole's closed up and made the Van Allen belts, they can't go back to the moon anymore. You know. It's really all the biggest joke, and I honestly cannot believe the things that they say and people actually believe. Yeah, no, it's racism and it's your fault. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much, if if you're white, you're automatically a racist bigot and full of hate. It's so, and they push these things, and it's disgusting. It is not of Yah. They fix that with the chemtrails. Yeah. Right? but but seriously, these are the stories that they give us. And now here you go a decade later and you hear nothing of them. There's all these whole new lists of problems and that need fixing and they're our fault. It's so sad. I pray for this world. I pray for Yah's will to be done. Trying to get your channel deleted. Yeah, no kidding. Oh, yeah, the acid rain, huh? I remember that too. Ozone holes and acid rain. Where'd all that stuff go? Now we got people wanting to be orange pineapples and mango bananas, and it's okay to be a man and a woman at the same time. Yes, sure. Do what thou wilt. Yeah, that's very true, Wendy. You can we can be laughing and just joking around, and they'll give me a strike for no reason at all. The world could use love more than ever. Exactly, exactly. That's the problem, is there is no love. It's been replaced by acceptance. So now everybody thinks acceptance is love. That's not love at all. If you love somebody, you're not going to stand there and watch them stand in the train tracks and get hit by a train. You're not going to accept standing there and watch them getting hit by a train. They've replaced love with acceptance. Then they go around saying, oh, well, Well, if Jesus was here, he'd be at that gay pride parade. And blah, blah. Well, the only thing is, he would be there, but he'd be rebuking and cracking the whip on every single one of them. But I digress. I digress. Yeah, exactly, Amanda. Callan is Callan's gonna be 8 here in a few months, and if it wasn't for me reading and teaching him about the Bible, like I'd be afraid for what he'd be learning, honestly. I mean, he does learn things in school that I really don't like, which is why I want to get him out of there. Yeah, it's just remember, out of all the lies and hate and manipulation they try to pull, there is one truth that will always be, and it's written in His Word in the Bible. And if you read it, not just starting at Matthew, because it does not start in Matthew, it starts in Genesis. You read from Genesis to Revelation, and then when you're done, you start over again. And then when you're done, you start over again. Because every time you read, He's going to reveal something new to you. And that's the amazing thing about it. And yeah, the tables wouldn't stop flipping if the Messiah was here. Or, yo, he'd be walking around with his head hung in shame at just the madness and debauchery and disgusting filthiness of this earth today. And the censorship and just everything. They got the new Ministry of Truth. And they got the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs bird running it. It's just, it literally, it feels like I'm living in a joke, some wacky comic that somebody's just writing down wild ideas. Sad thing is it's real life. It's real. Yeah. Yeah, right, Ryan. Yeah, he'd be ripping those off. He wouldn't be taking no stabberoos. He'd be rejecting them fully. And he wouldn't be marching for just one race. Think the Ministry of Truth was disbanded for misinformation. Yeah, no doubt. When you got Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs running the show, like, you guys remember that commercial, right? The lady who chose to run it was just, yo, she's got psychological problems, and she is. You could just see in her eyes and look into the blackness of her soul. Yeah, yeah. Really? Were they, Wendy? They were disbanded for misinformation. The Ministry of Truth. uh, so that's what I'm talking about. It's like a joke. It's like we're gonna name everything from these old novels, 1984, put it into put it into existence, and you people are just gonna fall for it. And Soylent Green. If you guys haven't heard of that one, that's exactly what they're doing too. And it's and it's like, what do the people who read these books think of what's going on? Like, because I read it. That's hilarious. Well, good. At least Well, at least the Ministry of Truth was taken out for misinformation, huh? The very ones. Oh my. Okay, I'll have to stop because I definitely I don't want to get flagged or nothing. Really? Oh man. Yes, it is. It's all a lie. It's all a deception. It's all to hide the truth that there is a creator, that we are on a flat plane covered by a firmament. There are no aliens. There is no ever expanding universe. Yahuwah finished his work on the sixth day. And for those who say, "Oh, are you doubting what God can do?" No. I think you're doubting what God has done because you haven't read. Anyways, thank you all for joining me this evening. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I want to work on so many videos, but just trying to find the time is really hard. I want to do a video on why I observe Sabbath from sunup to sundown on Saturday. I want to do a video on showing how the firmament works and how the sun, moon, and stars rotate on a flat plane above the firmament, but the firmament's magnifying effect causes it to look how it does, and also explains how we get the different rotation in the south and all this and that. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you guys all have a blessed evening and a blessed week. Shalom, and I will see you guys all next week. Thank you all, and praise Yahweh.